Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to a very tough podcast. I wasn't supposed to have a show this week under normal circumstances. I wouldn't have. But the passing of a musical legend, a musical icon, really affected the entire community. And I'm here tonight with some great friends of mine. Walk down memory lane a little bit, talk a little bit about the man, the myth, the legend, Mr. Jimmy Buffett, guys. Um,
Hey,
it's been a very rough week. Please let me introduce Tiki Mike, Jeff. We all call him Cleve. He's been Cleve to us forever, and Island Bobby. Guys, what a tough couple of days it's been.
Yeah,
yeah,
it's bad, Chris. It's bad, man. These 3 days, man, it's been nothing but heartache, crying, just sick to my stomach, and I'm sure everybody here feels the same way I do.
it was a
Absolutely.
Saturday.
For me, it feels like a horrible continuation of what happened over in Maui and Lahaina.
Yeah.
And that's some of the first places I was able to listen to Jimmy Buffett. I grew up in Hawaii, and when we would go sailing and we would go sailing to the islands, we almost always have Jimmy Buffett playing on the cassette player, because that's when we had cassettes back then.
Well, just
make it
to
older.
not confuse everybody watching, I've been doing Rock and Roll Union now for going on 6 years. This is not a normal podcast by any stretch of the imagination. This is not a Rock and Roll Union event. This is a Parrotheads event. This is a Pirate Parrotheads event. This is a Parrotheads way of saying goodbye to our mentor, our shaman, Jimmy Buffett. So normally I go by CT McManus and the Rock and Roll Union Circle. Tonight I went back to Captain Chris. I
was ready to say we're missing someone.
Man, so
Where be my drink?
So let me have Jeff introduce. Man, this guy's been at many tailgates.
This is Captain Heckle. Hey, how you be doing there? And one of the things about Captain Heckle is when I would go to the concerts, or I would go to the tailgating, I would get more booze than I had to start turning it down. I had so much booze I had to turn it down because I was just getting too drunk walking around there. But it was great fun, and doing silly jokes with all the people. The tailgaters were, that was such a great time. Yeah, and I was there too, telling them all kinds of great stories about me. And all my and adventures.
That's right.
I want to go around the room a little bit. Paddle Master Mama Day is with us. She's in the background a little bit, so she is here.
Wrong.
Can you hear us, Dave?
Yep.
Awesome. And just wanted to go around the room a little bit, let people know, how did you find Buffett, Tiki Mike? I know you had just posted this maybe yesterday or the day before I was reading it, but I wanted to talk about how we all fell into that lifestyle.
Well, for me, it started back in the late 80s. We were rock and roll heads like all you guys, Zeppelin, The Who, that's it. And my late brother, Steve, who I lost in 98, started putting on this guy, Jimmy Buffett, and we all looked at him like he was nuts. Country music, what the hell is this? We're not listening to this. Put on The Who again. And then we used to get together, my brother and I, and cook, smoke a little cannabis and drink and watch concerts back in the day. And we rented a VHS tape for a VCR, if anybody remembers them. I know you guys do. Of Live by the Bay.
I don't.
Yeah.
All right, Dave.
I'm too young.
But we rented Live by the Bay and we watched it. And I had a friend who was like an electronic guy, had my stereo hooked up through my TV. So it was really sounded great. And I went, but this isn't country music. This is something I never heard before. Who's the Blonde Stranger became my favorite song. He was so funny and energetic. And I don't think he said pickup truck once. So to me, it wasn't like
real
country music. This guy was singing about drinking and smoking and going to the beach.
Yeah.
And that was it. I was all in after that, and been to the record store to buy the brand new album the day it came out ever since.
Now, first show, Teak. What was your first show?
Man Music Center, 1989.
Wow.
Yeah,
Wow.
Man Music Center. He came to the Man. We went every year. We tailgate. Nothing like it is now. There was tailgating. People were out there, but it was nothing like it is, organized like it is now. And we would go down there. I had friends that tried 3 times to get in, didn't make it into the 4th because of our tailgating. And then he stopped coming to Philly, actually, for about 2 or 3 years before Camden opened that amphitheater over there. And it was because of Philly wage tax, believe it or not. Jimmy Buffett didn't come here because he wasn't such a huge act making billions. There was no Margaritaville restaurants, none of that back then. So for a couple of years there, we couldn't go see him because he didn't come around. And then Camden opened, and the rest is history. Never missed another show.
How about you, Bobby?
Me, well, it got to go back to the 80s. I mean, I worked at a bar up in Center City. I was bartending, a place called Ribbit at 17th and Walnut. And guy worked with me. He always used to come in telling me about Buffett and this, that, the other. I thought he was crazy. He's like, yeah, he sings cheeseburger paradise. I'm like, the hell is that, right? And I'm like, he's like, you guys gotta come out. It's a good time. The tailgates are unbelievable. I'm like, nah. I had long hair. I was into heavy metal. You know what I mean, like Motley Crue and all back then. And I said, you know what? Let me go out to one of these tailgates. Man, when I went out to one of them tailgates, I couldn't believe how much fun it is. And I never looked back from that moment on. Man, I was hooked. I was a Parrothead from that moment on. It was great, man.
You remember what year that was?
It was
Rough
in the
estimate?
80s at some point. I don't even, you know what? I can't give you the exact date because I don't remember. If I could figure out when Ribbit closed up, I could probably give you the
You
exact
don't
date.
remember the
But
show.
I
Too many
smoked a lot of
tailgates.
weed back then too, man. So
Too many tailgates.
Yeah.
many tailgates. Many.
Now, Cleve, you had talked about growing up in Hawaii and having that music. Now, was that something that was descended upon you from like your parents, or?
Yeah, exactly. My father had one of the early live albums. I remember. I don't know if you guys remember a movie called FM.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Jimmy had 2 tracks on that soundtrack.
Yes, he did.
He had 2 songs, and that was my first real. Okay, this is cool because all of the songs on that album were awesome, and that's when I first really started to notice him. And then I remember my father had had one of his live albums, one of the very early albums, and we would play that. But my first time really getting to see him in concert was when I was in the Coast Guard, and I was stationed out in California, and the ship that we were on had been decommissioned. So in order to decommission the ship, you have to take it around to the Baltimore yard. So we had to take the ship down around through the Panama Canal into Baltimore. And there was just one night where I happened to not have duty, and a friend of mine said, hey, you want to go see the Jimmy Buffett concert? And I said, absolutely. And he'd gotten tickets for us, and we went to the Meriwether Post Pavilion down in Maryland.
Yeah, absolutely.
Meriwether's great.
And had a great time there. The second time was also Coast Guard related. That's the first time I took my wife to go see Jimmy Buffett. She was pregnant with our daughter at the time, and we could get tickets from the USO at the time. So that's how we got our tickets. A whole bunch of Coast Guard people went down there and saw them all together.
Wow,
that's terrific.
The next time was actually at the Link. He did that one year that he performed back in Philadelphia, and when he performed at the Lincoln.
Yeah.
Citizens Bank, I think you mean.
Citizens Bank, yes.
Yeah, it wasn't the Link. It was
yeah,
Citizens.
sorry, you're right. The Citizen across the Link. Yeah, the Citizens
That was
Bank.
the year the Tiki Bar and us made the video. We made the
Yeah.
parking lot video
Yeah.
that year. 2005.
He only went there 1 year.
Yes.
Yes. I might have been 2, but the first time I know was 2005. And the Tiki Bar was only about 5 feet wide at the time. but the cameraman came up, and me, my daughter, and Bruce were behind it, and the guy went from top to bottom, and I was in the crowd when the song came on, Changes in Latitudes, and the video started, and I waited and went nuts when I saw us on that video. It was unbelievable.
Man, as far as getting into Buffett for me, and then I'm going to go to Paddle Master D because I kind of had a hand in that one. But for me, my parents were into Buffett much longer than I was, and I used to make fun of them for it. Same thing Bobby said, cheeseburger in paradise, what is that? Like, I used to tease them for it, and they kept telling me year after year, go and we'll buy you tickets for your birthday. Go one time and you'll be hooked. Go one time and you'll be hooked. And I was like, nah, but I was always a concert guy. So I said, all right, I'll go. And that's all it took was that one time. Like the minute you step into that lot and see how friendly and how loving everybody is and the times that we had in those lots,
New friends.
You get addicted to that environment.
Yeah.
Now, D, let's talk about Paddle Master D. Let's talk about your first Buffett experience. What were your thoughts going into this craziness?
Okay, so two things. One, the second time Buffett was at Citizens Bank Park was in 2008. And
There you go. I was 2 times. I thought so.
Yeah.
The only reason I know that is because it was the year after Captain Chris and I got married. So, and Buffett, it's because I married into it.
Oh,
You sound like
However-
my wife.
that makes sense.
However, my first experience at Buffett
Mhm.
was a little different than everybody else's because I had a challenge from Island Bobby, which was
All right.
also the first time I met Bobby. So we
No, you met me at Kenny.
no, we met you at Buffett.
Yeah, we both
That's right.
met you at
You're
Buffett.
right. You did meet me at Buffett. You're right. I'm sorry.
Yes, we met at Buffett. You were the first person in line. We were the second person in line, and we were waiting for them to open up. And it was a rainy day, and you made fun of me because I brought my chili.
Who's eating chili in summertime? Come on.
When it's raining,
And it was cold,
It was a little chilly. It was.
which is why we had chili.
And chili is good anytime. There's never a bad time for chili.
Exactly. So
All
we're
right,
sitting
go
here.
ahead.
So we're sitting here and we're talking to Mr. Bobby, and he's got this game that he's running with some pirate dice,
There it is, right behind me.
and he's making the girls earn their beads, but the guys were still getting shots anyway. And I'm like, what the heck is the point of them playing the game if you're just going to give them a shot anyway? So
Right.
he said, what do you suggest? And I said, you know what? I walked over to my little tent, and I had this little dollar store paddle that I grabbed off of it. And I said, the next guy that rolls, I'm going to smack him with this paddle. He said, no, you won't. I said, yes, I will. He said, I dare you. Next guy came up, rolled the dice, and got smacked with the paddle. And that's how I became Paddle Master D.
and there's one lucky contestant on that game.
And believe me, many girls and guys got hit with that paddle. I'm telling you.
Hey, she kind of became a celebrity. Like people wanted to get their pictures taken with her.
Yeah.
That game now is famous in a lot. And I'll tell you why it's famous in a lot. Because we went out there during the Heat Wave concert, which was a few years ago.
21.
Yeah, and it was so hot, it's ridiculous. So me and Chris started walking around. We walk up, and this guy had something where you spin a wheel or something, and then you get hit with a boat oar. And I went, Chris, that looks kind of like our game. And I went, yo, buddy, I said, what are you stealing our game? And he looked over, and I said, don't let me get D to come over. And he went, oh, D, where's she at? And he went nuts because, like, he knew exactly who D was. So then we had to take him over, and he goes, I got to get hit by the paddle with D.
Well,
Like,
you know
right.
what's crazy? You know what's crazy is when you're walking into the grocery store on a Sunday afternoon with your kids, and people are approaching you in the supermarket saying, "Hey," in front of your kids, "You're the girl that paddled me, aren't you?"
I know when you guys became our neighbors, we always heard in between songs, whack, and somebody screamed. And we never saw anything like it in all our years. We were proud to have you as our new neighbors.
Man, we had.
Look at that! Look at that! That
Tiki
is the
Mike
best
setup.
tiki bar in the whole lot, right there. Look at that!
Yeah.
Look at that!
It was a beautiful since 04.
Yeah,
We built it.
beautiful.
The original one. And that tiki bar raised over $30,000 to help people with all our fundraisers.
There you go.
Party with
There
a
you go.
purpose is a Jimmy Buffett credo. Party
And
with a purpose.
You didn't only stay in the Buffett lots, though. You went to Phillies games and other events like that.
We did all the ones, but Buffett never was a fundraiser because, you're in the hole already. And people on a Tuesday or a Thursday, which most of the years late at the last 10, 15, it was a Tuesday or Thursday. People don't take off work that aren't Buffett fans to come.
Right.
But our tailgates before the Phillies, lots of people would come tailgate with us and go to the game that night.
Right.
So but then the last three with the live music, we went to fundraising, and even though it almost killed me because I was so worried, we always made money. Everybody's so generous at a Parrothead, tailgate.
People get
It's
really
amazing.
generous when they get really drunk.
Yeah.
Well, but when they find out, it's for charity, people really do give.
Well, that's because when they sober up, they don't feel bad.
Well, the other thing is you will find in the lot anyways that most people were generous. You'd walk around a lot and people will say, hey, you want a shot? You want some of this? Hey, I got this. I'll give you this.
You want some ice cream? Who used to give us the ice cream? Your friend.
Jay.
Hook.
Jay.
Hook would give out the ice cream.
Little Jay handing out ice cream bars at Buffett in 100-degree weather.
As long as you didn't ask for a Band-Aid, you were good.
Oh, yeah.
The minute you asked for a Band-Aid, it was
Certain
wrong.
people wouldn't get the ice cream. He didn't like you that day.
Oh, you wore the coconut bra all the time.
All the time.
So looking at just some of the comments, I wanted to bring these out as they're coming in. Labor Day weekend will never be the same, and that is absolutely true, man. That is
No, it won't. It'll be the same if we do some kind of big party or something. I mean, but that's down the road right now. It's just getting through the grieving process.
We're thinking of a party with the purpose, Parrothead reunion next summer, early.
I'm with it.
I'll bring the paddle.
Before a Phillies game, it's no fuss down there. Jetro parking lot, you can get in early. No issues. We could all party all afternoon like we're going to a Buffett concert. Instead, we'll go to the Phillies game.
Tiki Mike, I talked to Jeannie Doc.
Yeah.
Like the day of. And she's like, oh, I'm going to talk to Tiki Mike. We're going to put something together. Don't worry, Bobby. We're doing something. And I was like, all right. I was I'm in.
I know she can count on me for whatever she needs.
Yeah.
I just saw her. You guys got to start coming to some of these house concerts.
Oh, I definitely. Okay. I've been behind that for.
It's all music.
I gotta get out there.
All Jimmy inspired. It's an incredible thing to support these musicians that are out there now.
Here's another amazing comment coming in. I never thought Willie would outlive Jimmy.
Yeah,
I don't think any of us thought that was going to happen.
That's true.
Are you kidding? The
yeah, but you know what? Willie might smoke more weed. That's what it is.
Yeah.
Pop will be alive forever.
Yes, it will.
Mick Jagger.
I agree with that.
Richards.
I know.
Are still, moving. They've got another album.
They just announced that.
They're going to go on another. They're going to go on another retirement tour.
Yeah.
Somebody else
was nicknamed wheelchairs.
Karen Ludi Krupnik. It is if I mispronounce your name, I apologize. It is a nightmare we cannot wake up from. And I think a lot of us feel that sentiment. Over the course of the weekend, let me ask you guys the honest question, and I'm sure everybody out there that's watching can attest to this. This is probably the hardest I was ever hit by any, I can't say celebrity or musician or whatever, but God, man, for 4 days now, it's just a heavy weight on your chest.
Dude, I ain't cried so much. Like, even when family members died, I mean, uncles, aunts, stuff like that. I cried my eyes out. I mean, I heard about this at about 3:00 in the morning on Saturday, and right away I was on a text with you, Barton, Ed. You know, I was flying through it, man. It just tears running down my face, and I couldn't wait to talk to at least one of you. You know what I mean? It was a rough situation, and then like me and you, Chris, going to Aerosmith on Saturday night. You know, I'll tell you right now, I don't know how I toughed it through, but I did. And then as soon as I got home, it all's back again. You know what I mean? It's just, it ain't going away, and it's not going to go away anytime soon. The more I see it on the internet, and then we see what happened in Key West with that big turnout, thousands and thousands of people. I mean, yeah, I got no words. I don't want to start crying again. You know what I mean? Try not to, because I'm with my friends right now. But you know,
That's okay. We don't like you that much.
Saturday morning was definitely a rough morning.
I couldn't believe it when I saw it. I couldn't believe it when I saw the on.
He's like a member of our family.
I thought it was a hoax.
He is a member of the family. He is. 100%.
I mean, he is. You know, all these years of. I mean, you're talking about the '80s, like I am, Bob. You know, that's our whole life. Every moment.
He's like our old grandfather. You know what I mean? That just.
And the other thing about Jimmy, he has 30 albums. So that means, you know, it wasn't like, you know, I mean, Billy Joel had, I think, 12. If you think about it.
Right.
You know, how many artists end up having 30 albums? That's your whole life there.
Yeah.
In song.
Think about the albums. He has books, both adult and children's books.
Children's books, Jollyman. I got it. I have a copy from that I bought when my kids were babies.
I read
Jollyman book.
The one that he wrote, Jollyman, and the one he wrote with his daughter.
Yeah, both of them with one, or I think written with the daughter. I can't remember the name of the second one, but I had Jollyman, and he wrote novels.
Yeah, I read all. You know,
they were great novels.
Enjoyed them.
You know, guest star on TV shows. Hawaii Five-0, Blue Bloods.
I think he was on Magnum PI, the reboot of that.
Right. I mean, he's been all over. He's just multifaceted. He's a remarkable guy and
very, very Renaissance.
Genuine. He's genuine. That's the other reason why we all love him and feel like we know him.
Trouble Dolls book. Somebody brought up the Trouble Dolls book.
It. Yes, thank you.
Yeah,
that's it. That's it.
And D, you were saying you thought it was a hoax at first.
Yeah, until I saw it coming all over everything, and I was like, "Whoa, wow, he really passed away."
I woke up in the morning and looked at my phone, and there must have been 15 messages from 15 different people. I didn't even have my glasses on yet, and I just showed it I couldn't even talk. I showed it to Dave, and what a shock.
Yeah, I had a message from my brother, and it was cryptic. He didn't mention just that the musical lived forever, and I didn't put two and two together, and I just jumped on the internet, and then I lost it for a while.
Hey, hey, Chris, we didn't hear from our parrot friend over there. He's been pretty quiet.
Oh yeah, well, a little bit.
Well, you know, I tried to become an icon at the when I was at the concerts. Walk around, talk to the people, pretty much insult them because, well, most of them weren't that bright.
Look at me holding a rum up to him.
Okay, there was all right. You know how they go around and they video the tailgaters, and then they would show it up on the screen.
Oh yeah, that's what Mike was talking about. That
he got me in a lot of trouble.
There he is.
Oh,
Chris, you look whacked.
When wasn't I, honestly, man? But,
well, come on, Chris. It might have been about 4 o'clock for the tailgate, so we had been there for 8 hours.
But dude, like, why were you? How did he get you in trouble on the screen, Jeff?
Okay.
Yeah.
There was this rather buxom lady, and he decided to motorboat her.
He decided. Really enjoyed.
I had nothing to do with it. It was all him. And when they put it up there, and that was by the time my wife she was at work that day, so she comes straight over, and then once she comes to she saw that up there, up the parrot during the motorboating of the young lady. I got smacked in the shoulder several times. Hey, but it was worth it. It was totally worth it.
Speaking of being up on the,
I'm sure it was.
Speaking of being up on the screen, I think we all have been, because the one year,
Yeah,
the Pirates, we were up there too with the paddling. We had Buffett's people there, standing there for what, a good hour.
Oh yeah.
yeah,
Paddle these guys.
yeah.
But we were all side by side for all those years.
Yeah.
One of my fondest memories.
And your setup. How did we not make the video again? I don't know.
One of my fondest memories.
I don't
was
know. We should
walking
always
into-
made the video.
when Margaritaville, Atlantic City first opened up. Me and
Yes.
Dee walked in there, and there we were on the TV screen as soon as you walked in. Like,
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, that's neat.
I actually had
Stunned by
a
that.
friend call me from Las Vegas, Margaritaville. Well, she called her brother and said, I just saw Tiki Mike on the TV screen up here.
That's
So ours was still running too somewhere. That just shows you how Jimmy feels. You know, the videos in all his restaurants are the fans.
right.
and who can forget
Oh
this
my
year?
God, the hurricane.
Yeah, we lost the tent.
I have a story about that.
The twister came up the aisle,
Yeah.
and my wife
all of
jumped off the back of my friend Stu's truck because he had sand in the back of the truck. She hurt her knee, had to end up getting knee surgery from it.
Oh,
And, yeah. So that came from Buffett, you know what I mean? But that, like, when that ended, all that rain ended, we went back and kept partying like nothing ever happened.
damn right. Yeah.
Like
it
when
rained on
it
us
came,
few
it went.
years.
We just kept on moving.
Oh,
Jeff,
yeah.
what were you saying as far as you had a story about that as well?
Yeah, this was actually when we got into the lawn area to watch. We would always get up close to the rail. We'd always get in early enough. We could be right at the rail in the lawn area, so we were as close as you could be with the lawn tickets. And as you guys know, one of the things I did, I always wore a kilt.
Oh yeah.
That's right. Yep. Yes, you did.
Yes, he
Because
did.
first off, it was hot, and kilts feel really good in hot weather. I don't know why all guys don't wear, kilts and things like that. Anyway, I'm up there. My shirt had gotten soaking wet, so I took it off. I didn't even wear my shirt inside. And we're up there standing there. My wife is standing next to me, and I see something out of the corner of my eye. And I look over, and laying on the ground is some woman trying to look up my kilt.
Oh man.
To see if it was a true kilt.
To see if I was wearing it properly, if I was regimental.
Oh my God.
The parrot told her to do it.
Probably.
I do got to bring one thing up. Our last show, and Chris knows this. He didn't come to Camden that year. And what was it, 2 years ago, Chris?
Yeah, and still to this day, I feel bad that Panda wasn't with Paddle Master D wasn't
Yeah,
with us.
Paddle Master didn't make it. We stayed at a hotel. We went to Meriwether.
Oh, I
And
remember the
of
video.
course, Cleve, Meriwether's a great place to watch a show.
It is. It truly is. I've been there twice.
We went there, and we were going to tailgate, but apparently everybody kept saying there's really nowhere to tailgate. The lots were full. That they only had 2 lots, real small. They said, well, you can tailgate over in the mall parking lot. I'm like, we're not doing that. So we ended up tailgating at the hotel swimming pool. So we had a swimming pool, but for just ourselves. I had a portable grill. We broke out the Buffett tunes, and we partied at the pool all day. And Chris said, damn, man, that was the first time I ever went in the show clean, because we got done. We went and got showers. We weren't sweated. And then we got in there, and Barton, who had knee replacement surgery, couldn't go up on the lawn because the lawn's steep at Meriwether.
Yeah.
So I walked up to the guy and went, listen, my friend, he got knee replacement surgery. He can't go up on the lawn. And sat there. He goes, let me see what I can do. Well, he calls up a lady. The lady comes down with 4 VIP passes.
What?
Wow.
Yeah. So we went up in the VIP section and hung in the VIP section the rest of the day, watched the concert and everything. It was great. So I said to Chris, I said, Chris, I got a feeling that this is the end. Didn't I say that?
I will say this, though. However, looking back on that, you can be in the VIP section, but nothing ever beat the feeling of having all your parrot heads around you. The feeling of being in that general admission zone and being part of, I guess, what we called the flock, all of us together, and just like there was nothing in this world like that feeling.
It's all about friendship.
Yeah,
There's so
Charity, I
many.
mean, parrot heads are unique.
we are.
No, I feel like I've lived pretty much the Jimmy Buffett lifestyle, having sailed all over Hawaii, in California, the Caribbean. I helped take a boat from Tampa Bay out to Hawaii, and of
Wow.
course I had Jimmy Buffett, so I listening to that all the time as we're sailing around through the Caribbean and the Galapagos Islands. Was in the Coast Guard for a long time, and now I'm part of a pirate crew where we go out and we do pirate festivals, as well as just acting and having my puppets and having, and living life in the most spectacular way. I will tell anybody that I feel like I'm the luckiest human being. I may not have a lot of money, but I'm one of the richest people I know. And I get to meet people like you guys and say, wow, it is so great to meet, and make friends with you. And we wouldn't be friends if it wasn't for Buffett.
That's right.
How about it?
That's right.
That's the thing, is I truly believe that I live the Margaritaville lifestyle.
Now,
And I
D,
make great margaritas, by the way.
D, you were going to say something. What were you getting ready to say?
Well, with you guys talking about the lawn, I was going to say the one thing about Buffett is he never forgot about the lawn. Like a lot of your concert artists will focus on the people that are in front of them, whereas he always talked about the lawn and the party that was going on out there, and that
Crazy,
was that made him different from others.
Yeah, he put it in his lyrics. Crazy ass people on the lawn.
Yep.
Yeah.
When I think that was I forget what song he did, but I got that lyric in my head right now. Been saying that. Always said, "Hey, lawn people."
And he always made you feel like he was that you were part of it. He never left you out.
You got the beach balls.
Yep.
We got people asking for more picture of Sharkhead next to Bobby.
Yeah, that's my friend Jermaine.
There's more effects of the paddle, and now just by this picture, you can see how deep this got.
Oh my good, yeah. People wanted to get paddled.
Oh my!
They did.
How many times did we have anywhere from 40 to 50 people sitting in a semicircle waiting to watch people getting paddled?
All the time.
Taking
Pictures. Look at her.
Yeah.
That poor guy.
You tried to get me, D, but I never went.
I'm surprised your arm held up.
Yeah.
D, talk about the time with Andrea. When you hit Andrea so many times that she was a dancer at the time. She had to go to work and her ass was black and blue.
The certain things that I won't forget is we would have people, this one guy one year, I'll never forget it. She paddled him probably about 8 times and he kept coming back. It wasn't until his ass cheeks were bleeding that we sent him on his merry way.
See, now
is that the guy with the referee shirt?
No, that was not him. It was a different guy. But the referee shirt guy comes by every year.
Tiki Mike that probably knows him. He saw him.
I don't know. Anybody that came back that many times, I'd be scared.
Well, it was funny because the last time we were out there in the parking lot, my very last time, a guy came and he said, "Look, I just want to show you this picture. This picture was from 6 years ago that you paddled me."
Yeah.
And he still had it on his phone. And I'm just like, God, what is this game now?
Yeah.
I know you got more picks over there, Chris.
Some more comments, though. I
The
want to
best
address some
stop,
more of these.
yeah, she's
Best
right.
stuff happening on the lawn.
Oh yeah.
Always,
And then
always.
children of the lawn.
I got to
Children
say,
of
when
the
I got
lawn.
old, no more lawn for me. I was doing seats or that's it. I couldn't take the
Did
lawn
you?
Nobody sat down.
anymore.
Nobody was sitting down. You might as well be in the lawn because nobody's sitting down anyway.
Here's one that I can really attest to. I'm a total introvert until Buffett plays. I'm a very private person, but the minute I get into that Buffett lot, forget it.
The minute he gets around to him, I don't want to hear the just Buffett lot. Just saying. Here's another user.
They asked for the paddle. They
They
did.
did.
They
were. Oh, it was crazy. Listen, see, the deal is when you play this game. Let me tell you a little bit about the game real fast. When you play this game, there's a couple different things here. Let's see if I can pull it up. All right, there it is. Okay, you can roll Pirate Punch, which I made tons of it every year. All right, there you go, Chris. All right, and you can roll that. You can roll Earn Your Beads, which are going to get spanked with the paddle. You can roll Pirate Choice, which is mine, Chris's choice, or whoever else was running the game. They could say, "Hey, you're getting spanked with the paddle," and then Ye Choice. You can choose whether you get spanked with the paddle, and then Earn Your Beads. So basically, you're either drinking, you're getting beads, or you're getting spanked.
Well, Earn Your Beads for the guys was getting spanked too, so there were
Well, yeah.
four
So basically, you're getting hit no matter how you look at it. But people loved it. I mean, it was just one of them things where everybody's going out and having a good time.
Yeah.
And you're enjoying yourself. And believe me, Tiki Mike enjoyed himself plenty of times down there. You know what I mean?
Oh my God.
He never smacked me now. I never got that close.
No.
You guys tried so hard. I
did.
No.
I tried to.
Cleve,
I had work to
did
do.
you get paddled, Cleve?
Every year.
Cleve got paddled.
Every
year.
I would
all right.
tilt up out of the way so I could get smacked.
Oh yeah.
Nice.
Did the parakeet hit?
No.
All
That
right.
would break his hand.
So somebody here said I missed Jones Beach concert last year. Made it to the parking lot party, but ended up in the ER due to a high test chocolate edible. I was just first. I was just the first from the tailgating in that ER. Told them where I had been, and they yelled out, "Get ready! It's a Jimmy Buffett concert."
I once heard Jimmy Buffett fans referred to as heavy metal yuppies.
Yeah, I could agree with that. I remember going into Wawa on the way home and going in with the Lays and the beads, and they're like, "Oh God, the Parrotheads are here."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, guys,
real quick.
Go ahead, Bobby.
Tiki Mike, tell us about I already know what you're going to say. About before we got in a lot, what we went through to kind of hide in Camden.
Oh, Camden was the worst. Always the biggest struggle ever. But, it just, well, we had some great years. All I was going to bring up was the best one I ever had that for me was the year we had J.D. Spradlin from Radio Margaritaville was our
I remember that.
Yeah.
And we had John Frinzi and then Jimmy's original lead guitar player, Roger Bartlett, played for us that day. You guys were right down by us. So I'm sure you were there to hear all that music. That was a pretty incredible day.
Yeah.
And we raised almost $1,500 that day.
Man, for any of the rock and roll union normal people hanging with us tonight, Jimmy was such an influence on me as far as the podcast, as far as everything that I went on to do, that my very first guest came from Tiki Mike's tailgate, Charlie Imes. Charlie Imes, man, I remember sitting there talking to him for hours that day, man. And that's the one thing we can attest to Jimmy is he created a whole new style of music, which is incredible. A whole new genre. Trop rock is, I mean, guys like Jesse Rice, who is I love Jesse Rice. I think of Kelly McGuire. I think of other guys out there.
Scott Kirby.
Scott Kirby's another one. And
Dennis McCaughey, who played the Tiki Bar in 18. Heather Bidell.
just the idea that, I mean, Tiki Mike was touched on it. Tiki Mike touched on it was the backyard concerts. You don't have to go to an arena to hear this music. You don't have to pay exuberant money to go see these artists in people's backyards. And I think it was a Kelly McGuire song that said, "If you don't have beaches, don't worry, we can come to you." And like, I love that, and that really is the Jimmy Buffett mentality.
Yeah, but think about it also, and think about how many musicians that Jimmy touched himself. I mean, look at all the songs that mention Jimmy Buffett. Look at all the artists that had played songs to him just this past weekend after he passed away.
Yep.
So many people. One of the things we were looking at earlier today, Captain Chris had sent me, was a video of Stone Cold Steve Austin and
great.
Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson singing Margaritaville in the wrestling ring in WWE.
My nephew sent me that Saturday.
I'll tell you what, after crying for 4 days, man, that just put a big giant smile on my face, because it shows the effect that he had on the world.
Right?
Yeah.
Without no radio airplay.
Right.
No.
It helped, but everybody knew who Jimmy Buffett was.
Well,
Pretty incredible.
I've told my kids that when I pass, what I want is for my wake is everybody to wear flip-flops, aloha shirts, drink, tiki drinks, and have Jimmy Buffett playing the whole time. That's my wake. And it's like, and nobody cries because everybody just tells the most embarrassing stories they can of me, which there are plenty of them out there.
Don't we all, man?
Those are the same things that Captain Chris done said. He wants Buffett playing. He's even picked out his song, which one I have to play when things happen.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
So, I mean, something that we can tie some of these the viewers in with that I'd love to talk about right now is, and it's hard to nail down a few, but favorite Buffett songs. I mean, there's a few that when he would come back, my favorites were the ones he always came back with just him and his guitar at the end. Like, I'm thinking like Tin Cup Chalice is probably one of my all-time favorites. Trying to Reason with Hurricane Season's another one of them. Any of those, like, what is your couple favorites that you guys absolutely love?
Cleve.
Chris, you already know mine. Mine's one particular harbor, and that's it. I mean, when that comes on, that's my song. Chris, that's my song. I mean, that's it.
Okay, Bobby to leave.
I have not been able. What did you say, Dee?
She said that was the sign for you to leave.
Yeah. My exit was happening probably after that, but I still haven't been able to listen to that song yet, and I don't know if I can.
Oh, when the lady
I haven't got to that point yet. But you're right. When that song came on, the exit was coming soon. I don't ever think I never saw the lights come up. Never. I always beat the rush out of Camden because I hate Camden.
It's the worst.
It is the worst.
I would never leave early. We always waited until everybody else left, and then the parking lot is almost completely empty, and then we say, "Okay, now we can leave."
Yeah,
that's a good idea
you're
too.
There waiting for the cars to drive out. You have your cold bottle of water.
You're right.
Or
half a sandwich from Wawa or something. You know what I mean?
Well, you're firing up that grill again for a couple hot dogs before you leave.
Yeah, we always had food left over, snacks. I would bring the box of snacks. We'd have something to eat, man. Because when I got home, I was wiped. I didn't even want to unload the car. I live in South Philly, man. Pulling up in front of your house and trying to unload a car when you're half shot in the ass.
Oh, we always wait until the next day, man. Like,
oh my God! Like, see, I can't because you can't leave the stuff in the car. But yeah, man. And that morning leaving is like Christmas morning, and I think every Parrothead in the world will agree with me there. Waking up knowing that it's Buffett Day, and not being able to do that again, man, it breaks my heart. Yeah. It really does.
What do you think, Tiki? Favorite couple of songs, or is there certain ones that are near and dearer to you than others?
Big time. I always loved the Buffett I call life advice songs. And Happily Ever After is a
Oh
song
man.
that I haven't been able to listen to, like Bobby, but it's
Yep.
quickly been replaced by Bubbles Up.
Hmm.
His new song, Bubbles Up, is incredible. See, I'm going to cry just talking about it because he
All
knew.
right.
You knew he knew.
Yeah.
And Paul McCartney had something so special to say in his tribute on Facebook about that song. And he thought it was Jimmy's best vocal that he ever heard him do. I think Will Kimbrough actually co-wrote the song with Jimmy, and it's hard to listen to. You guys should definitely look it up. It's on
Well,
YouTube.
we're going to be outro to that song tonight. We're going to play that on our way out the door this
Yeah.
evening. So,
Yeah.
but I agree with that. And the one thing that I got to say that I keep thinking over and over and over again is here you have a billionaire who had stage 4 cancer. So easy to just lay up and ride it out. And he's recording a new album, and Bubbles Up to me was kind of a farewell to the Parrotheads. It is. It's literally a love song to all of us.
It's an incredible lyric.
And
Yeah.
for those who don't quite understand it, the Bubbles Up, when you do scuba diver training, scuba diver training, they tell you to follow the bubbles up because that'll show you your way out. And
Right.
it's
you to
kind of
home.
like the grief that we're all feeling right now. And I heard that it was designed to be released the day that he passed away.
That's
So
technically not released, though, Chris, Captain. It's
well,
it was stolen by somebody already, and it's all over now. When
yeah,
that
but,
album
I
gets
mean,
released, it's going to be an incredible event. What a great
Well-
gift we got to have one more album.
I'm
Yeah.
hoping that last album gets released Christmas Day.
Could be
On his birthday.
Yeah,
on his birthday.
I would love that. But
Good idea.
Cleve,
could
what are
be.
your thoughts to favorite couple of Buffett songs that are nearer and dearer to you?
A lot of it has to do with like the mood I'm in. There's different songs hit different moods, but the two that popped to my head.
Don't tell me why don't we get drunk and screw? I don't want to know about that mood.
You don't want to know about
We
that
all
feeling,
like that one.
that much? Okay. I was actually thinking of fruitcakes
Mhm.
and Jolly Mon.
It's another one.
I love this. Like I said, I personally love storytelling. Storytelling is one of my favorite. It's one of the reasons I became an actor. It's one of the reasons I became a puppeteer was because of storytelling. I love storytelling, which Jimmy Buffett was a master at.
Yes, he was.
Yes, he
And,
was.
Like I said, Jolly Mon is one of them, and just fruitcakes talking about because it sort of reflects all of us.
Yep.
Yep. That whole album is when that came out. We were NASCAR fans going to Dover. Me and all my friends, all of the rockers I was talking to you guys about, and we listened to that brand new CD because you didn't shuffle play then. Back then, it was you listened to one thing at a time, and we listened to that 30 times in a row.
You
All
see
of
this
us.
comment, Teak?
Yeah.
Why don't we get drunk? I sang it like 6 years old, man. Did I get in trouble?
That's a good one. That's a good one.
But gotta
See,
ask.
raise your kids on Buffett
That's it.
and
Oh.
still keep doing it. Don't stop.
And he
Bobby,
was the
my
first
two
one to tell you to
daughters-
put your
sorry,
fingers in
Chris.
your.
My two daughters, one's 30, one's 28. They will forever have to say, "Oh, what was your first concert?" And they look and say Jimmy Buffett
Jimmy
because I
Buffett.
took them in 05.
That's right. I got a
They're-
picture.
they're
I
afraid
got
of
a
that.
picture down the shore. Well, go ahead, Cleve.
I was going to say, I remember Jimmy Buffett looking out in the audience and saying, and to think, we're now a family-friendly show.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
How did that happen? How did we
Well-
become a family show?
He
Yeah.
changed why don't we get drunk and screw to why don't we have lunch in school
Yeah. Yeah.
during that tour.
And he would always tell the kids to stick their fingers in their ears.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
Paddle Master D, I got to know, and this is interesting for me because we've been married for going on 16 years. Couple of Buffett songs are near and dear to you.
Well, I have a couple that I like myself, but my favorites are really the ones that the kids sing. My favorite myself is Treetop Flyer. You know that. I was listening to a CD that Chris had, and
Banana Wind.
it was a song at the end that's not even listed on the track.
Hidden track.
And I was like, cool, I like this. And I always love that. I always love finding the hidden track.
Remember that?
So I love Treetop Flyer. And then so the other songs were my one son, he was Barefoot Children in the Rain, he loved. So that became one, just watching him sing that. Then Collins was Fruitcakes. Michael's was oh God, I'm going blank for a second. But Ricky was Rumba Man and Pencil Thin Mustache he loved.
Oh, that's a great one.
So
Yeah,
there
that's a
was
good one.
That one too.
so there
That's
were
a good
always
one.
songs that they would, when we were in the car and he had Buffett on, we had to play because the kids wanted to hear those ones. So it was always those ones that stuck in my head because it was just a family experience for us. In fact, speaking of family experience, the year we took our kids to see Buffett was the year that Chris decided to leave early that year.
Yeah, I found out that year from drinking Bobby's
Bobby's-
still all-time favorite drink, the
daiquiris that Bobby was giving him.
Could be Bobby's fault.
There you go. Look,
The
right
next-
here. There it
next
is.
day,
There
the
it is.
next day, my blood sugar was 600, and I found out I was diabetic.
That's
Ooh.
not good.
That was
600.
the only year I left Buffett early,
Yeah,
Wow.
I remember that year.
and I went.
Your face was red as the devil.
I made 26 shows. That was my number. I mean, there's people out there to blow me out of the water.
Like Tiki
They
Mike?
travel everywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lots of friends, and they're amazing people. And I feel bad for them because they have friends all over the country that do this, and the reason for doing that is no longer there. People go to Paris to see him every year.
Yeah. That was one of his CT's bucket list, was getting to Paris to see him.
Yeah, yeah.
I remember talking to the security
Sad,
guys,
man.
security guys that were out there, going around making sure everybody was good. Talking to them about how, what's it like doing the Buffett concerts. This is one of the easiest ones. People are always offering us stuff. They're trying to give us food and drink, and
Man.
we ask people to do something, and they like, oh sure, we'll go ahead and do it. It's like they hardly ever had any problems when they were working at a Buffett concert. Like
Right.
really no incident. The worst part was when people would drink too much and then get sick, and that was it.
That
Now,
was it.
talking about drinking too much, these comments
There you go.
are
Check that
killing me.
comment out.
The one year I tried getting in with my photo ID, my phone had died. I had the tickets on my phone, but I thought it would be all right if I just showed them my ID. I'd be all right to get in. I was that far gone, man.
I literally had to drive back to show the guy a ticket for him to get in.
I'm not taking blame for getting him drunk that day. The walkabouts did it.
The lime did it.
Yeah.
The lime is what did it that day. But
Why? Because I gave you a lime and two pieces of cracker and a lime,
God.
and said, "Here, Chris, eat this."
an
So we're
entire
sitting,
lime.
so me and the guy Greg sitting there laughing at him, and Chris is whacked, and he's eating it and making a face. And I took a picture of it. You got that picture, Chris?
I didn't put it on here, but
Oh,
I'll
okay,
share
never
it after
mind.
the show. But
What's this?
Katie Michelle said the sense of community at a Buffett concert was amazing, which is absolutely the truth.
True.
We
Yeah.
talked a little bit about this earlier, where you would trade something you had for something they had. You want to try some of the shrimp? Sure.
Oh,
You want
sure.
a daiquiri here? And
Everybody's so generous.
You know, I forgot my absolutely favorite song.
what is it?
What?
Desperation Samba.
Yes, it is. Yeah, you're right.
Love that song. I don't know why I didn't think about it. It just clicked in my head.
And we're
Instead
going
of
into
that
that
whip
season.
sound, you think it's a paddle whack, right?
Great. Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
That game will forever be retired right there. There it is.
Oh man.
Well, we'll have to bring
Gypsies
it
in the
back for a
Palace.
reunion.
Yeah.
We need a reunion.
Another great, Gypsies in the Palace. is
Gypsies
another
in the
great-
Palace was fantastic.
Another great storytelling.
Yeah, true story too. It is a true story. I heard that there's a great concert from, I remember watching on the Nashville Network, I believe. Jimmy and Jerry Jeff Walker and Fingers Taylor, just the three of them. You can YouTube it and see it. And they tell all the stories. And Gypsies in the Palace was a true story.
Man, looking at this comment, go ahead,
Getting
Dave.
in trouble
I was
again. Here
gonna
we
say,
go.
There's only one person that, and it wasn't just Island Bobby. That I have to.
Alan Bobby got everyone drunk.
That was all the captains decided on that. So I know.
Listen, Tiki Mike got everybody drunk too.
No, do you see this comment?
My
Look at
wife
the
and
comment.
daughters.
It
They
said,
were the
I really do
bartenders.
appreciate everyone that I met along the wonderful times. Captain Island Bobby made me drink out of a sippy cup during my first tailgate. That was
Who's
a
that? That has
collective
to be
decision.
Harry.
That was
That
not
has
just
to be
an
Harry,
Island
man.
Bobby decision.
That's Harry.
I sent
my
Chris
God,
a picture
too
of
funny.
Harry in his cheeseburger outfit.
Got
Yes.
a little
Yeah.
Buffett pacing.
I'm
Man,
pretty sure that was Harry.
It was Harry. He had the
Oh,
yeah.
cheeseburger outfit and a pirate mask on.
Yeah.
I don't know how you wore that outfit all day in that blazing heat.
I know. Oh my
Man.
God. I think that was the Charlie Imes year. That
Yeah.
was the
Yes,
first
it was.
year we had live music. That was very scary, but boy, what a great job he did. That was such a great day.
I came over on the ferry.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
it.
you
That's
guys
it.
did.
Oh.
Yes, you did.
Yeah, me and Jermaine came over on the ferry. What's this, Chris?
We have to keep this community going, and that's the God's honest truth.
Absolutely, 100%.
I did
100%.
put out there something called a eulogy to Parrotheads eulogy to Jimmy, where it was talking about all the things that we're going to miss. But we do have his music to keep us going. We do have all the. I mean, I'm looking at you guys, and Bobby is the godfather to my son now, and I'm looking at guys that we look forward to hanging every year. Like we were staples in each other's lives for years.
Yes.
That's why we do house concerts now instead. We see Kelly McGuire when he comes to town. Things like that. So we keep it going. You know, you don't want it to end. Jimmy
No,
wouldn't
not at
want
all.
it to end.
No. Chris, can we talk about the beads for a minute that I made? I made these memorial bracelets. If Chris could pull them up, if he
Yeah,
can get them.
here we go.
Okay, I made them, and they are. You can get them on my Facebook group page. Reach out to me. It's Island Craft Company. It's on Facebook groups. Them bracelets are $10 each. There's women's with the charms on them, and men's can come in any color. Has a little sea turtle.
I
They're
love
10
the
each.
turtle.
All proceeds go to Cancer Research Foundation. So just to let everybody know,
Okay,
They
I'm
are
gonna have to get
available.
some of that because that'll be great.
Very
for my
nice,
parents-
Bobby.
for my
I got
parents.
one
Yeah.
on me now.
Yeah.
And it says R.I.P. JB on it with the turtle.
yeah,
And somebody said it was a blast getting at the parking lot at 8:30 in the morning, scoping out which lot was going to open. I'll tell you what, we used to bitch every year. We would bitch and bitch and bitch about what lot was going to open. They're screwing us. They're not doing us right. We were drunk by the time we got in the lot.
Yeah, we were.
because we start drinking like when we're sitting on Penn Street. I don't know. Tiki Mike, you sat on Penn Street before, right? Yeah.
I think that's how we met.
Yeah,
We
Penn
met
Street.
sitting
Yeah.
on the
Yeah.
street at 8:00 in the morning.
The-
And I don't know. I hated it.
so I did too. Listen, I didn't
Tiki
like
bar.
I hated Camden. I couldn't stand Camden.
Right.
But it was the only place to see Buffett, so we had to deal with it.
It
Well,
was
you
Now,
came
just for-
over in a ferry. They actually left the gate open of the last lot by the stadium, the baseball stadium.
yes.
Yeah.
And we all went in and we start setting up, but we set that tiki bar up real slow because it was only like 9:00 in the morning.
Yeah.
And then a rumor, people all filled in, and then a kid came around on a bike and said they're going to kick us out. And I
What?
remember telling this kid, you know what? Tell them to bring the paddy wagons. I'm 50 years old. We're going to clean up what we're doing. Let them kick me out. They're going to have to arrest me. And about an hour and a half later, they came around on a cart, and everybody paid the park.
Right, I
That's
remember
it.
that.
I
That's
remember
it.
that
Remember
year.
that?
Yeah, I remember that year.
Yeah.
Boy,
I
that was
also remember
great
the
that
year
year.
I
That was
also remember the
awesome.
year we cried when we lost our lot.
Yes,
Yeah.
you remember that?
When
Yes,
the
we lost our
tailgate
lot.
lot went down, man. Like, I'll tell you what, there was, and I was talking to Dee about this earlier tonight. There was a feeling when that lot went that there was just something special about that River Sharks lot. Number
Yeah.
one, the River Sharks Stadium was beautiful. It was really set up nice. But second, when they took that was where we all met. That was
Yep.
that was
Yeah.
the number
Yeah.
one lot in Camden. That was
Yeah.
Then they stuff us in warehouse lots and stuff us in the back
I
corners.
remember the warehouse year.
The warehouse year was the first year we were raising money. And I was scared.
right.
I said, look at this. Jesus, we're in the back of a warehouse. Who the
Yeah.
hell's going to come over here? And
Everyone.
There was
there
a
was
lot.
no issue. You know,
There was a lot of people.
there
Yeah.
was. We had John Frenzy playing live.
Yeah.
It was awesome. You know, I've been a big J.D. Spradlin fan on Radio Margaritaville, and to have him there that year was just very, very special. That was a great year. And that year, my niece got to meet Bubba. She went
That's
backstage.
I remember that.
Oh,
I remember
really?
the pictures. Yeah, I remember that.
Thanks to Roger Bartlett, he took her backstage and he told the security guard, said, no, just you. He said, well, this is my wife. And she's only like 28 at the time. And,
I was
and they let him in. And she sent me a picture during the rest of the tailgate, her standing there with Jimmy Buffett. I couldn't believe it.
one thing I got to say that I saw just recently. It's been on my list, but I haven't quite making it there. And Bobby, you're going to know exactly what I'm talking about. The Highlights Tiki Bar in Maryland.
Yes.
They've had Jesse Rice quite a few times. They've had some other backyard shows. I haven't made it yet just because of how far out it is for me. But this weekend, this past Labor Day weekend, in 48 hours notice, they threw a Parrothead party, morning party for everybody. And I really thought that was awesome and would love to see more of that going on.
Well, Sonny Jim White, he'll be playing a house concert in September.
Where is that at?
It's in Lansdale, PA, at a guy, Conchi Joe's, who has won actually a Trop Rock Music Award for best small house concert venue in the past.
I was
a
going to say,
great place to see a show. Yeah, that's where a lot of them are. That and another house concert, Neil Minchucci, I think his last name is. And
so with everybody worried about continuing that, and with the thing going on, this is how we keep the community going with these backyard shows and our love for each other. Somebody said, I'm going to miss some of the creative setups for tailgating and how much fun you could tell Jimmy was having up on stage.
Yeah.
And you never
Meeting
saw
the Minds
Jimmy
is coming
miserable.
up, Chris. The big music festival. Man. You know, this year it's not in Key West. It's in Gulf Shores, Alabama, but that's all Trop Rock. That's all Jimmy Buffett Club. In fact, you have to be a member of a club in order to register to go to the 4-day festival.
Now, are we expecting the Meeting of the Minds to continue? Any ideas?
They're meeting on it, but I cannot see it. I guess it's going to depend on how good Gulf Shores goes this year. I've only gone to it 2 times, both in Key West. And it's a lot different when it's not in Key West because it's 8 years, I think they've had it straight in Key West, right on the ocean, where you could look at the sunset on the left and the stage on the right. You know, and usually Mac McAnally, Peter Mayer, all the Coral Reefers play. Although they're not playing there this year, which is a little odd.
Well, give them time.
So
one of
Chris,
the things
go ahead, D.
One of the things I wanted to talk about real quick was Captain Chris's saddest moment at Buffett. He actually, this was a year, I don't remember if you were there, Bobby, but we actually had backstage passes to go meet Buffett. And he was going to wait until the intermission to move up and get up there to where he had to go. And it was the one year he did not do the intermission and he missed meeting Buffett.
I thought you was going to say you got too drunk to meet Jimmy Buffett. Like
there it is.
Pretty much that's, like.
Love that song.
It's a good song, right?
Absolutely
we
love that
didn't
song.
ask our mascot what his favorite song was, Chris.
Oh yeah, we got to ask the pirate.
Oh, I really, you got to go with a classic, Margaritaville.
Yeah.
Wasting
There
away
you
in
go.
Margaritaville.
There you go.
How can you not look for your lost shaker of salt? I mean, who doesn't love salt, especially on a cracker?
I saw a picture. It was a cartoon drawing of Jimmy at the gates of heaven, and St. Peter is handing him a margarita and a lei. And I said, I think it would have been even funnier had St. Peter been giving him that shaker of salt.
Shaker of salt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
so
Mick Jagger passes away. And St. Peter's taking him around to look for his house. And they pass his house, and there's a seaplane on the ground. There's a pool, beautiful in-ground pool. Margaritaville's playing. And they finally take Mick Jagger around to his house. And it's a nice little place, but it's not the same. And Mick goes, I want the house like Jimmy Buffett's got. He said, that ain't Jimmy Buffett. That's God. Man, but guys, thank you so much for hanging tonight. We're gonna call this. I mean, we could talk all night, but
of course,
yes,
Mike.
So
when you decide for that party next year, when you decide to
Believe me, everybody will know.
Yeah, let us know, man.
I talked to my buddy Steve, and he's ready to do it for next summer. So I think we're going to try and do something before our Phillies game.
I'm going to just do around the room real quick, and any parting thoughts, any ideas, any last words you guys want to say? We'll start with Mike.
Yeah, go ahead, Mike.
Well, we all feel the same way about Jimmy. There'll never be another like him. But the community, I promise you guys, won't go away. It will not. There's too many of us. This thing is worldwide, nationwide and worldwide. So it won't end. And if I don't see you, maybe for Sunny Jim, I'll post the date. You guys come up to Lansdale. I'd love to see you.
Hell yeah.
Absolutely.
I will see you next summer, though, at the Tiki Bar.
Bobby?
Yeah, I think, there's a lot of users going on and making comments. Chris, give them the info so they can keep in touch with you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Which would be a good thing. Listen, I'm hoping something goes down to where we could all get together again and do it one more time, and it could feel like Christmas Day again. Because all I got is New Year's Day now. So, it's going to be a little sad, but like Mike said, if we all can get together and get more people together and, we can make each other feel good. Because right now we're kind of just leaning on each other.
That's it.
So, but, hey, look, RIP, Jimmy, it sucks, but we have to deal with it.
Jeff?
I have no idea what to say. I loved and I love the lifestyle, the life, of being that laid back, listening to the music, listening to other, just that feeling of sharing something like this that is so important to all of us. I'm once again, I'm super bummed by the whole thing, but I am at a point where I'm just so happy that he was around for us to enjoy. Yeah, and I miss the booze. Yeah, I don't understand.
The person, yeah, I miss him too.
D?
I'm actually going to quote my best friend here. I'm going to say, she posted on Facebook the other day, even if you didn't like the music, that music still brought people together. Made so many new friendships, so many connections that you can't and won't get rid of. And I don't see anybody else doing the same. So my best friend of 16 years now came from that show.
He's right on camera now, Dave.
can't hear a thing. Sorry.
So that's my thing, is you can't just the people that you've met and the people that are there from this.
That's it. And I gotta say, this is me in closing. If you guys enjoyed the music, if you enjoyed the memories, I'm doing Rock and Roll Union every day. You're going to be able to see this on our social medias, YouTube, Facebook, whatever. But one way that I close out every show, and we're going to close it out with Bubbles Up, but I just wanted to say one thing that I say every Rock and Roll Union podcast, and this is not a Rock and Roll Union podcast, but one thing that I say every day is don't just leave it better. And Jimmy did that. So here we go to Bubbles Up, guys. Much love. Thank you for hanging with us. And guys, just keep on keeping on.
Love you guys.
Thanks, Chris.
Yo,
Thanks, guys.
I'll talk to you guys. Take it
Thanks for
easy, all
having
right?
me.
Always, Cleve.